I didn't even know you could download beats and like make them from YouTube to MP3s. So what I would do is I had a Beats pill that I recorded with the mic on my MacBook.
So cool.
And then that's how I put that out.
Speaker didn't even have the beat. He put this he put the speaker and he just recorded his.
There was this party you didn't go to, or this person you decided to not date, or this person you broke up with, or this journey you decided to not go on or did go on.
So is it like how would making this decision or that decision affect
and
life?
Because
that's awesome, dude.
Because when you think about it, it almost is a past life.
There we go. Rap Roots Media, we are back. It's been a long time since I've done beats. I mean, I'm excited. We are here with T.Smozz today.
Yeah.
You've worked with a lot of the people that have been on this show. Nesta, Sunny Ski. You've worked with a lot of cool people. So I'm excited to talk with you today.
Yeah, man. It's a pleasure being here. I'm excited to talk about it, you know. Should be fun.
So in terms of the process, I know you told me a bit briefly before the interview. I'm the first person that's interviewed you or really talked with you in this space outside of a couple people. How do you make those connections with those few people you have talked with? Like,
it's
getting a Sunny Ski feature. I mean, that's no easy task. I mean, so he's done a lot of features, but it's no easy task.
No, it's a whole thing. I mean, well, it's not really a whole thing. It's like, so, you know, when I started in the space, I didn't really know anyone. I still don't really know anyone.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you know, I was able to meet some people, just a couple of people, actually through, you know, who I record with now, One Take Recording, which is it's a duo of two artists, Shayla Hamady and Tavo.
Okay.
And, you know, shouts to them because they do all my shit. But basically, really quick, what's the can we curse on here?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay.
Say whatever the fuck you want.
All right. All right, but basically, you know, when I started talking to them, I started taking this music stuff a little bit more seriously and everything.
Yeah.
And then I just started, you know, they're more involved in the space even than I am.
Yeah.
And so I just started kind of following stuff that they were doing, reposting shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started seeing people, and I just started looking into their music, and I'm like, damn, I'd love to work with you. And I would just, like, for example, the ski feature, it was pretty much me finding a beat. I found one, and I was like, you know, I was listening to some of his music, and I was like, he would sound fucking dope on this. He would sound fire on this track. And so it's very much just a simple, I hit him up on in Instagram, and I was like, hey, you know, I got this dope track. I think it'd be a great feature. Would you be down to work together? And it was that. I mean, it's something just super simple, and it's crazy, you know, because like I said, like I met you now. I met, you know, One Take Recording crew, and then Nesta, who actually came to One Take Recording. But other than that, any features I've worked with, I have not met in person ever.
Oh, wow. So it's all just like email, or is it all just like through?
Yeah, it's, I'll DM them.
Yeah.
And then we start, you know, I usually, when it comes to the conversational stuff, we stay in DM'd.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to like me sending like, you know, the demo over and then the beat and then vice versa, then they, you know, do it through email and everything. But yeah, it's pretty chill, man. It's something as simple as that. You know, I didn't, you know, coming into the space, I didn't really think it was going to be that easy. I didn't really think.
Is that something that you would prefer, like email over doing like the track with a person in the studio, or like what do you prefer?
Yeah, so that's the thing, and I think that's kind of why it's not that I prefer it, because I would love to work with like an artist in the studio.
Yeah.
I have before, and it's fun, and you know, it's great. It turns out just as great, obviously. But the thing is, with me and studio time and everything, I like to be as efficient as possible.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
With everything. Like, so basically kind of how my process usually works is I'll find a beat.
Yeah.
I write write whatever I want to it. And if I'm looking for a verse someone, you know, what I'll do is I make a demo and I actually use my MacBook.
Yeah.
And I just make a demo and everything. Use that mic, set it up in my closet on like a bunch of like, I have
connect your phone to it. Just
bro, not even my phone, bro. Not even my phone. Literally, there's a mic on your.
Yeah, there's a Mac. There's a Mac,
and I use that. That's it.
Hey.
And then I set it up on a little TV tray with like, I have a box of like you know what a stand mixer is?
Mm-hmm.
I got a meat grinder for it, but I'll never take it out of the box. So I put my laptop on top of the box, and then I surround it with a bunch of sweatshirts and everything, and I make a demo.
All right.
And so what I'll do is I'll do that, and then I just kind of send it over to someone, and then, you know, it just kind of goes back and forth.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when it comes to recording, the reason I do demos, because whoever I work with, I always ask for a demo before we do the thing, because what I kind of like to just go in, do my thing, get out.
Yeah.
Same thing with the gym for me. Like, I know people that are at the gym for like 3 hours because they vibe with it or something. I'm like, I'm not trying to spend. I'm there in and out in an hour.
Yeah.
Get my shit done, get out. But it's the same thing with recording. I think it's a fun vibe when you got the time and stuff. But if you're like, a busy person and you're at crunch time,
Yeah, I'm in a pinch. I'm ready to move. Yeah.
yeah, like I like to go in, get it done. And sometimes that can be, a little bit tough because I do like to work with people.
Yeah.
Like when Ness came to the studio, him and I were just kind of chopping it up a little bit. It was nice. It was fun. But, that's just talking time that I could be using to work for it,
Yeah.
Because, I mean, just in my work in general, I just like to be efficient.
Efficiency is important.
Yeah, exactly.
It like, especially with the music thing, like it is hard to make money in this game, or it's hard to even like make time for it.
Yeah.
Like in the sense of like, I'd assume you have a regular everyday job. I'm a student.
Yeah.
I go to school, I work, I do all these things.
Yeah.
So you have to make the time for it, and on top of that, you have to make sure that time is spent efficiently. Because say I spend an hour talking to you, and oh shit, the camera isn't recording. Oh shit, this isn't going. It's
right.
Conversation.
Yeah.
This great conversation. Then that's a waste of time and energy.
Right.
I can completely understand that.
Yeah.
So you said you and Nesta worked in the studio. Did you produce his album?
No.
Who produced it? Do you know who produced it?
Nestas?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nostalgia one?
He told me. He's got a couple of different people on there, I think. But there's one, I can't think of who it was, because Ness and I are we're actually working together on a project right now.
Gotcha,
a project based on that one track. That track, I love that. That's probably my favorite verse I've ever done. And I love it. His vibe, Nesta's so dope. Shout out Nesta.
Yeah, both went crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, so him and I are working on a project together, kind of more of that laid back summer, old school type shit vibes. And he sent me some beats. I swear they're the same guy, but I cannot remember the producer's name. But it's dope. It's so dope. Nesta's probably one.
I like that sound. You talked about, I feel like it was a street. There was a street name you talked about in that song, and I remember. Was it Elmridge?
Yeah, Elmridge. Yeah.
Dude, I remember that street. My grandma lived right off of that. So, like, not right off of it, but like right near it.
Yeah.
On Statesman, like right next to that. So, dude, that was crazy. And I was like, oh shit, he's talking about Elmridge. That's like right up the road.
Yeah, man. No, that was a fun track to kind of work on, because it was my first feature, actually. So shouts to Nesta for that. That was my first feature that I was able to get on, that I was asked to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? This was fun. This was cool. And my kind of vibe and everything too. And when I was thinking about the verse, it gave me, because like he was telling me the project named Nostalgia. And I was like, okay, I gotta think about that. I started kind of just going through old pictures I had on my phone, because Google Photos saves your shit back to like 10 fucking years, man.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of going through, because I took some, back in year 14, you just kind of do whatever. And so you would, you would just take a picture of your boy like smoking or something, and it's just stupid shit. And I just kind of was going through looking like that, and that was just, nostalgia was hitting me, and that's kind of where the verse came from. And I feel like that was one of my most like authentic verses, because it was just shit that was like, it was good times, really good times, no care in the world, anything.
Yeah, talk to me about what, like, I mean, obviously I have similar memories, but talk to me about what growing up in Grand Rapids is like, and how you like channel that energy in your music, because there's a lot of people from here that talk about Grand Rapids. They talk about like big parts of the city, like Van Andel Arena, or like they talk about the things in the city that are like, but not necessarily like, like they talk about the things in the city, but don't necessarily talk about like, oh, well, this is what it was like for me when I went here. Like I feel like that's how it was, especially with the Nesta track. It was real like centered in like, oh, I grew up here. Like this is what I do. This is how I spent my time here when I was young. Yeah. So what was that energy like growing up here, and sort of moving into the music space? How do you feel about our current music scene? How do you think it'll develop? I know that's like 15 questions in one, but first one, what was it like growing up in Grand Rapids?
Yeah, so growing up in Grand Rapids, that's the thing, is I grew up kind of like in the city, but then also in like Walker sort of thing. So I was kind of bouncing around. I went to school at Kennewick, so I had a lot of friends that live in Martin and everything too. And so, I have friends from every, whether it was Rockford, West Catholic, Greenville. I had, it was everywhere, everything, because, Grand Rapids, a big city. It's like, I always call it the biggest, smallest city, because even though it's a bigger city, it feels like everyone knows everyone. Yeah. And so growing up, it was like, it was just, I always like to explore is the thing. So me and my buddies, before I had a car, so I just ride around on bikes. Yeah, literally everywhere.
That was the shit.
It was the shit, man. It was so fun. Like there was this place, where Mike's Wings is off of where's Monroe right there? Yeah. And Ann Street. You keep going down there a little, you keep going south, and there's a little train track, and the train tracks go over the river. And that was one of our big time smoke spots,
Big
you know?
time smoke spots.
Yeah, and it was chill. Like, it was like, 9, 10 o'clock at night on a Saturday in like June. You got that fresh air and everything. So it was always just full of shit like that. Was being able to explore, just kind of vibe, or like,
dude, I remember being like, probably like 5 years old, riding bikes with like my cousin, and then I also remember being like 13, 14, 15 years old, riding bikes with my homies. I lived like right out Meridian, right next to that school.
yeah.
So we used to ride to the park, ride to get ice cream.
No, everything.
Just go have fun. Yeah, exactly.
Bro, everything. Yeah, like another spot we went to is Millennium Park too.
Mm-hmm.
There was all them big ass oil rigs back there. No one was ever back there. And
dude, I remember I was the first one to get a car, and that was like the moment where everybody was like, "Where are we going, bro? Where are we going,
bro?"
No, yeah, dude, that's a moment. That's a historical moment in life.
Oh yeah, no, I mentioned that in that track. I'm like, my boy Nicky had the permit, and we was all like, "Bro, where are we going tonight, man? Where are we going? What's going down?
Where the party's at?"
Yeah, exactly. Nah, bro, growing up here. It's so cool because we have so much going on. Because when I think of Grand Rapids, I've always encompassed it as all of West Michigan, really.
Yeah.
So whether that's Standale, whether that's Kentwood, whether that's Rockford, whether that's actual like Grand Rapids proper, whether that's even like I'll even consider it like even like Grand Haven, because I go out there a ton of case out there and everything too. Yeah. So I like to not really pigeonhole it as to just Grand Rapids. I like to think of it as a whole area that is pretty great and everything, and especially now just this music scene's pretty dope. It's awesome.
Pretty dope. Yeah. So how do you feel like it evolves? Because I feel like we have a lot of people now that are really pushing the sound in all different directions. Like there's so many people that are putting on for the city that sound so drastically different.
Yeah.
And I feel like Detroit, Flint, that area really has like one sound.
Shout out to Babytron, bro.
Hey, shout out Babytron. Shout out all the Detroit. Shout out all the Flint artists that are crazy. I appreciate the sound, and I know I talk about it a lot, but they have a real niche, unique sound.
Mm-hmm.
Grand Rapids, I feel, has a more diverse sound.
Yeah.
So how do we find that? Maybe not necessarily one sound that fits with us, but how do we make sure our diversity is shown to the extent that we can become like a hip hop hub city, to the point where, like, I mean, hip hop just won art prize.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, yeah, I've seen that Chama project.
I feel like it's time, dude. I feel like it's really like now is the moment where hip hop takes over the city. Like I feel like now, because of art prize, because of all the artists that I've been able to talk to and speak with that have such diverse sounds, I feel like it's only a matter of probably 2 to 5 years before Grand Rapids is recognized as one of the breeding grounds for hip-hop artists. Because I feel like one artist from the whole regime of people that we have here takes off, and that's just that's the catalyst.
No, it's been so I remember there's like a lot I feel like I could talk about here, but just from my own personal knowledge, I wasn't really big in the music scene up until like the past couple of years. Back in the day, my buddy, he this was back in like 2015, same time I was doing all that stupid shit. But basically, like, I had my first local artist I had ever heard was Ajax Stacks.
Yeah, that's
and that was
the show.
And that's crazy. I seen him on the show. I've seen him do all shit. I've seen him work with, people that I've collaborated with, and that to me, I never thought back then that I would have been close to where he is or anything, like in terms of just straight up even proximity. So it's kind of cool. But since then, that was it wasn't like, I feel like back then it was still like super super underground. Back in 2014,
for sure.
Like people, like I know he had ties with Green Mitten. Right there.
Those are my dogs too. They're helping me. They're helping me with the show. A bunch of his boys, and like him and his boys, are super. Super accommodating and super nice people.
Yeah, I would love to get Ajax on the track, bro.
He is such a genuinely nice person.
Yeah.
I texted him this the other day. I was just one random night. I was sitting in bed. I'm just looking through fucking Instagram or whatever. I'm seeing posting some shit. I was like, dude, you F with me in so many rooms that I appreciate you so much. You put me in so many rooms that I didn't deserve to be in. I appreciate you so much. You are genuinely such a kind person. Yeah. And he was just love, man, always. He's just such a nice dude.
It's so I love to have a track with you, bro.
Hey, Jack, I'm about to text him after this fucking show. Get on my boy T.Smozz track. Anyone he wants you on, do it. Yeah.
No, it's cool because you see the growth in terms of like the visibility of it, you
Yeah.
know, like I occasionally would stay tapped in every now and then, but up until, you know, about 2021, 22, when I started getting, you know, more into this and everything, it was like, I just kind of start seeing like everything slowly just bubbling. And like you said, you're at the point now where we're at that, like, you just need that one
I feel like it's
person,
that
that one
moment
group.
before you hit a
Yeah.
huge like the peak point.
Yeah.
We're here on the roller coaster. So
Yeah.
we haven't quite hit the descent yet.
Right.
We're right there. We're not quite here yet. We
Exactly.
haven't hit that peak point, and
Yeah.
we're at nowhere near a crescendo point.
Yeah.
So
And like to kind of go off your thing earlier with, you know, how do we, you know, pump out, not, I don't want to say pump out. How are we able to make it so that people know that we have, you know, we're not just one sound. We're a
Yeah.
lot of different sounds. That's something I've noticed too. And to me, what I think is like, what I try to do is, you know, when I hear an artist, I love hearing artists out of their comfort zone and on different stuff. So like, or like, you know, I think a good, recent example in like the, you know, big industry is, so I fuck with Larry June and the Alchemist heavy. They're like I love them. They're one of my favorites. And I seen that their recent album with 2 Chainz.
Mm.
You know, he's a trap rapper kind of guy.
Yeah.
And then he just hopped on a whole album full of Alchemist beats.
Yeah.
And it was
That's crazy.
crazy, you know, because I remember 2 Chainz did he did a verse on Conway the Machine's project La Mahina, and it was an Alchemist track. I was like, I need more of this. This is like 3.5 years ago. And now I get a whole album of it. And I'm like, that's the way to do it. You kind of bring people, like you get like an artist like just a big one name, like a Tron. And then you just kind of get them on something that's more Grand Rapids.
Yeah, that's more Grand Rapids heavy or more Grand
Yeah.
Rapids adjacent.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Another one that I'll say is in the main industry, Mac Miller is one of my favorite artists. People know that, and my audience knows that. But he had Kendrick Lamar on his Divine Feminine album in 2016, and I felt like Kendrick on that project was super out of his comfort zone, with like, singing heavy on it, and like comparatively from back then and also now, he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
He sang in a couple songs on the GNX project, like the Gloria song. He did a little bit of like it's more like, I like to say it's more like talking singing than like really singing. But on the Divine Feminine track, he was really, you could feel he was singing from his chest, like not just like Mama, like not just like talk singing, but like actually trying to sing. And I appreciate. I feel like that would be a great way for people to just
like that. That's the way I see it. It's just,
move
you know,
move the scene forward.
the way to push
just getting people outside of their comfort zone.
The way to push the sound is to push the sound forward and keep progressing, you know? Like, you don't want to be, I mean, I love the Flint and Detroit style that, you know, the, especially Tron, like I said, Tron, Shitty Boys, that, they take them old 80s freestyles sound, and then they slip it to that, and it's so dope.
Yeah, the 80s sounds,
it's so dope.
Bringing in all the basketball references, just like sports references. It's funny. It's good music. Like, I don't dog on any sound. I feel like everything's great. Not everything's for me.
Yeah.
But everything's great in its own way. Like, sometimes we don't need to hear a super introspective, spacey, I hear all about my thoughts song.
Yeah.
That's what I like, but that's not always what an album needs or what an artist needs to put out.
No, and I think Tron, like I said, is also a good example of this, because when I remember my boy put me on a lot of that shit in college and everything. And I remember when he started to get bigger was when he did these little, it's almost like, I saw a comment once and it was like, this rapper does shit for ADHD people. And he would be on a track, but it have like 12 different beats on it, from like whether it was Gucci Mane's like what was that, Lemon, or some, or you had him hopping on 6 Foot 7 Foot, or you had him on what's poppin', like you had him on, it's this whole, I think it's called King of the Galaxy, and he has like 12 or 13 different like songs
switches,
and that was when he started to pop. And he did the same thing with Lyrical Lemonade, and that's when probably Patron was like, you know, that's when he got to that level a little bit, was when he got out of, you know, just his sound, and he was able to adapt and do more things, because the adaptation that I think is always a great.
The adaptation is really something that sets an artist over the top and shows people like, hey.
Yeah, like he's not a one-trick pony sort of thing.
Pony, exactly. So I talked to you about the Sunny stuff. I talked to you about the Nesta stuff. You had an album come out. I believe pretty recently, right?
It was like last summer.
Summer,
at tail end of last summer, August. Yeah.
And so talk to me a bit about that project. How did that come about? How did the process of making that go?
Yeah, so it was basically what I like to do with my projects is I like you'll hear a lot of different sounds,
Mm.
but I will try to think of it as a whole in terms of like, will these sounds all connect in some way, shape, or form, or with a theme of the project?
Mm.
The theme for that project was 25 Summers. I was turned 25 last summer and everything, and I was like, you know what? I want to make some shit where this can be a summer track that you can play like while you're smoking at night, just vibing. This is something you could play at the beach. This is something that you can just, pump in the whip on a nice day
Yeah.
or something like that. So when I was kind of curating it a little bit, I made sure to try to find and pick beats that were like all had a like I'd be thinking about them like, okay, in a moment, could this be a summer vibe sort of thing?
Mm.
And so when that came about, I was like, okay, now I definitely want features on it. Now I got to think of the features, and I know the first one was actually my track with Teeland. It was I just saw Dune at the time. Dune, I fucking love Dune, bro. Dune Part 2.
Mm.
That shit's crazy. I don't know. Have you seen that shit yet?
Dune?
Dune.
Oh, the movie. Yes.
Dune, yeah, the movie.
I thought you were talking about an artist. I was like, who the fuck is Dune? No, I haven't seen either of the movies. I should check them out.
Oh yeah, no, it's crazy good. And I at the time I was like this one part you'll hear you if you if you remember the song. It's actually my most streamed song with Teelan, and it's like just that sound. I was like, this would be a seriously dope intro for a track. And I found this super dark, grimy beat, and I had it kind of ease into it. A fun fact with any of my songs, and especially that 25 Summers project, I love using movies, clips, sounds.
Cinematic. I talked to everyone about this. I love the cinematic sounding shit.
Yeah,
It's so cool.
I love to incorporate. I love movies is the thing. I love movies. That's I always it's one of my favorite hobbies. So
I'm a huge TV show guy, but
Yeah.
also you can find a lot of great songs in like in just like the little like even if it's like a sitcom, like they're just panning through, like there's a serious moment happening and they're just like panning through. So it's the sounds that come from that is just like I'm a person who could like I'll almost break down songs like in my head. Like I'll hear something from somebody local or somebody outside of local.
right.
And I'll just be like I'll almost like break it down like I'm trying to sample it almost. Like break it down to like, okay, what could sound good? Like what could sound good and how can I make this different? Even if it's like a hip hop track or otherwise.
Yeah, and that's something too. I think with the project itself, I was like, I wanted to kind of make like if whatever song, like say it was my track "Summer Breeze" with Shayla and Tavo. Like I wanted to when I was making it, I was like, I want someone to be able to just imagine themselves driving down the coast, bumping this shit, windows down, just thinking about whatever, feeling that summer breeze, bro.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. I try to make it feel like a moment in a movie.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
for a movie, and that's what I kind of wanted to be and wanted to go for.
Yeah, man.
And when I was picking out the cover art too, my buddy Denny, he shoots a lot on film and everything. I don't know if you noticed with a lot of my 2 album covers for my Wealthy Street one and then 25 Summers, they're both shot on film by him.
Yeah.
And I keep that going, and because all my cover arts are pictures essentially.
Yeah.
Next one coming up I got is gonna be a picture that he did. My new single, he took that one when he was over in Cape Town, South Africa. So it's like I always try to. There's just a lot of things I think about when incorporating, because it's not just about. I probably heard this all the time. It's not just about the music, but it's also you want to evoke a certain feeling.
Yeah.
When you're making the music, and you want.
It's about the creativity. It's about feeling what I say. For me personally, it's about creating that feeling, but also I want to feel like my creativity was put to use.
Yeah, exactly. You want to feel like like you said, the creativity is put to use, and like that it's something that people can just find interesting, even just little interest at it. I think it's so dope. And, that's really what a lot of this kind of how a lot of, how I honestly got into the scene was I have a job and it's fine just looking at spreadsheets all day, really making reports and doing stuff like that. But, after, even just a year and a half of being in that, I wanted to, I needed to create a space, an outlet of some sort to where I knew I was, making, I think, 'cause I always think creativity is such a good, it's a natural thing humans want to do.
Yeah.
And so it's something that I know I wanted to do. I've always been into music, and I was like, you know what, this will be what I want to do. And now it's kind of, I've been able to not just write songs, but I put a lot of effort into like whether it's making a reel or seeing what movies might go with this song. Just kind of doing little things like that, and that's I think the fun part about it.
Yeah, is
so
seeing what. So you make a song and then you see what other creative avenues can come from that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, you talked to me about 25 summers being because you turned 25
Yeah,
this past summer.
yeah,
I heard something popped up on my feed, and it was somebody talking with like Paul McCartney, and they were like, imagine if you made a song like from the moment you began making music, if you made a song every year of your life, like say you turn 21, you make a song about being 21, you turn
yeah,
22, and I just thought that seeing that reel or short, whatever,
yeah.
and then hearing about that really set off this question. How do you feel like, I know you said you've been doing this for a little while. How do you feel like age has progressed in terms of your maturity of your sound?
Well, that's so. I feel like I can answer that question in a second. So, just to kind of give you some background as to how I, started this in general, really,
Mm.
I remember my junior year of college, me and my buddies, we heard a Tiger track, and we heard this beat, and we were just kind of just wrote to it just for the fuck of it,
Yeah.
just did our own thing with it, didn't really do much with it, whatever. And that was the end of that. That was in 2020. I want to say COVID year. We were bored
Yeah.
as shit.
Yeah, everybody's
And
bored.
so,
Yeah.
and so then, after that, I didn't really, this was never in a plan for me at all. Like, if you asked me if I was going to be making music even 4 years ago, well, no, more like 5 or 6 years ago now, I kind of lost track of time. But I probably would have told you no. Like,
Yeah.
I had no idea. Even when I did that little dumb track, I was like,
Just like,
it's a joke.
It's a joke. It's a hobby.
It's a hobby that could be fun, but whatever. I'm not going to do it. I'm still super into music, but I was like, I don't think I'd do this. And then, during my internship I have between the job I have now and finishing college, I just I needed something. I was getting so bored. I needed a creative outlet, so I kind of picked this up again because they started doing more tracks, and I was like, I wonder if I could do it.
Yeah.
Just to play around.
Yeah, let's just try it.
And so, from 2021 and 2022, I didn't put shit out. I did on SoundCloud. You can't really find it anymore. I put it all private.
Find it. Everyone find it. Everyone go wherever private tracks he says he has, go find all of them because I need to hear them.
It's like it was bad. I mean, it was bad. I didn't know how to, I was just learning to use Garage.
Yeah.
I literally, bro, I have a Beats pill. I didn't even know you could download beats and like make them from YouTube to MP3s. So what I would do is I had a Beats pill that I recorded with the mic on my MacBook.
So cool.
And then that's how I put that out.
Speaker didn't even have the beat. He put the speaker and he just recorded his vocals and then said that's a song.
Yeah.
Fuck people and tell me it's not. No, that's awesome.
It was
so cool.
Seriously, I literally did not know anything about the space. And, on top of that, I'm still trying to write rhymes, really.
Yeah,
I wasn't great at it. Like, I couldn't flow at all.
Lyric was spiritual.
Not even that. Like, I was just trying to catch a beat, bro.
Catch the beat.
It was crazy. And so that was 2021, 2022 is when I was figuring a lot of it out.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to figure out a sound because, one time, one of my favorite artists is Jid.
Yeah.
I love Jid. I think he's fucking fantastic.
On that album right there, Swimming.
Oh, yeah. And he's like, he's probably one of my, like, probably, I don't know if that's a hot take. He's probably a top 10 for me, just in terms of, like, ever.
Jid's awesome.
And, like, I listened to all of, so, some of my earlier shit sounded like him. But at the same time, I was listening to a lot of, what's his name? Denzel Curry.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried shit like that. Or I would just try, basically, I'd hear, like, a Kendrick song that, I think is interesting. I try the sound. Or I hear a Wayne song. Try the sound. I hear an old like an old pun song or something from Word of Mouth by that album. I try that. Hop on one of those beats, and I just keep trying to find something. And then it's actually when I stopped trying and just kind of just looked for beats and more of like a feeling sort of thing. And that's when I started to get more comfortable with even just rapping in general.
Yeah.
Is just, when I stopped trying so hard to emulate someone else.
Yeah, you know what emotion you're trying to evoke. You know what you're trying to do with the song.
Like you can always look up type beats to help, obviously a little bit. And, that's a lot of my shit is. But even then, a lot of them aren't, a lot of them aren't the same. And I think that's what's really great about type beats is you can go down a rabbit hole of a Mac Miller type beat. And within just that wording, you'll find so many different styles. And I think that's what's great. And I think that, doing that helped me just develop as an artist in general was, like when we were listening to that 25 Summers project, there's so many different sounds on it. Yeah. I just, I think that's a fun part about the creativity of all this too, is like my Summer Breeze track with Shayla. That's like a little poppy type shit. Mm-hmm. But then my track with Teeland or Ski, it's like just rap, like just straight up rap. And I love both, but that's because I grew up listening to both. And I always have appreciated all types of music, whether it's, like I grew up listening to like Rick James, Shaka Khan, or a lot of Kool in the Gang. And then, but at the same time, I listen to a lot of like even like Eminem. Eminem's still one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Like or like even jumping out to that, you know, listen
That's
to a
fun
lot
when
of
you have like a diverse music taste is but the thing about having a diverse music taste is you can really use that to your creative advantage because you can exercise so many of these different sounds that you love,
hmm
and it ends up coming off as like this is unique, and this is unique to this artist
Yeah.
because they've amalgamated all these artists into their sound, and now they have their own sound. Like I don't know, that's always been something that I like. Oh, I notice hints of this person and this
Yeah.
music that I'm just the type of person I notice those kinds of things, and I always think that's really cool. Like when I'll hear like, oh, that definitely is like inspiration from this person. And I always
Yeah.
think that's super cool.
Yeah, and I think that was pretty, you know, with that project it was kind of important to me to, you know, just show love to other, you know, sounds that I grew up listening to and then currently listen to, and then just, you know, being able to kind of do something of my own with them.
Yeah.
So on one of my favorite tracks on that project is Good Jive.
Yeah.
And it's like it was from this I was basically looking at beats and stuff from this producer Curating. I have like 4 or 5 songs with him now. And with this track, it made me think of James Brown, a lot of James Brown, Famous Flames back then. And so actually in that track, I incorporated some of his little, because you know he has those little things he does in the song, like
Yeah.
you know his little yells and screams right there. Yeah, you know, shit like that. Or like Mr. Bird did the same shit on there too, and I incorporated them into the track. And I always thought, you know, just being able to do that, it's just fun. It's just a creative thing that I think is fun to do, and you know, it's just makes this fun sound that you can just listen to whenever or whatever and anything. And then you know, or like one of my other tracks, Italian Leather, that was you know, inspired heavily by like I had listened to The Great Escape by Alchemist Larry June a lot. And so in that time when I was, you know, writing that, I was thinking about that. And then, you know, I found a sound and I just, you know, I love the sound. Whether, you know, I just love music in general though. And I think it's important, like you said, to have a diverse and open mind kind of when it comes to music and picking beats, because I feel like a lot of people and artists in general will think of themselves as one dimensional, but they don't realize it, but they just kind of stay in this lane of something.
That was
know?
my thing in terms of like I told you before we started, I did music for a while. And I was great at making like, oh, like I'm sad and depressed music because like I was just at a point in my life I was like I was kind of sad and depressed.
Yeah.
And then I get to a place of like I got a girlfriend. I mean, I go to school. I'm doing pretty well in my life, and I was just struggling musically, and I was like, man, I don't know how to make happy music.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
So that's when I sort of started to move into this realm, and I was like, damn, but I know how to talk. Like,
Yeah.
I know how to talk to people. I know how to conversate. I know how to make content. I
Yeah.
had to do it for myself for music. Like,
Exactly.
I just sort of like, I don't know, I moved the goalposts a little bit.
Yeah. No, keeping an open mind when it comes to anything is always just a way to open yourself up to perspectives.
For sure.
And when you open yourself up to perspective, you're able to understand a lot more,
Way
see a lot more, and just kind of be more, you know, overall in general. I think it's a super important, you know.
Be more. That was a quote. I know that's gonna be in one of the shorts for sure. So I wanted to talk to you about the new single. You had the single running.
Yeah, bro.
I know I'm gonna butcher. I know I'm gonna butcher the name. Is it
Valeru.
Valeru. Okay, there we
sure.
go.
I'm pretty sure at least.
All right.
But yeah, you know,
Where is that? That's a woman, right?
yeah.
Where are they from?
So it's a funny story actually. Is I met this one of my buddies named Davide, and he I met him when I was moving into one of my off-campus apartments over at GV. It was like moving day, and I would just, you know, I talk to people. So if we were just standing in line. I just turn around, he's there. I'm like, "What's up, man? How's it going?" And then since then, you know, we've just been able to keep in contact and everything. He was an exchange student from Switzerland, and you know, we've just kind of been keeping in touch since. When I went to Italy, he helped me a lot, just find new places and everything to go, whether it was in Trastevere, Rome, or anything like that. And it was so dope. And we've just kept in contact. And then one time I saw him repost this song. It's called Cryptical. And I heard the voice and I'm like, holy shit, her voice is fantastic. Yeah. And that's the point in time when I, you know, worked that producer Karam. He uses a lot of Karam. When he does production, and I can tell he uses instruments. You know, kind of like I've seen a Pablo Escobar. Yeah. Same shit. You know, it's so dope. And a lot of them are like more neo soul, funky, just, you know, this awesome stuff that I love. That's, if I had to pick one of my favorite genres, like top 3, it's just anything that involves a good funky bass line or a good, you know,
I love a good bass
guitar riff, or just you know, melodies and everything. And so I started looking at his beats, and I remember hearing one, and I was like, I'm going to keep this in my back pocket just to see if I can find anyone. Then I heard her voice. I'm like you know, like I said earlier with with Sonny Ski, I remember I listened to him, and I always just, whenever I hear an artist, especially someone that's local, I love to support.
Yeah.
And I just keep them back in my mind whenever I'm working on tracks and stuff. And if I hear something, I just remember their voice, and I'm like, okay, they would sound fantastic on this one or something like that. And so I had messaged my buddy, and he was like, I was like, hey, you know, I was like, first, do you know her? And he was like, yeah, bro, that's my sister. And I'm like,
That's crazy.
oh shit, okay, cool. I was wondering, is there any way?
Put me on, but like not that way, but like on the music tip type of way. Like,
oh yeah, and I was like, yo, you know, do you think she'd ever be down to collaborate on a track? And he's like, yeah, I think so. And so he got me in contact with her, and her and I have made these 2 wonderful tracks of similar styles. And you know, like I said, I wanted a more neo soul type thing, because this actually, you know, it's the second single off my new project coming out soon, and I wanted that more, you know, relationship type thing. And just, I always feel like that's always a good kind of, you know, good tracks to have in your catalog. I always feel like something like that, because everyone's always
lovey-dovey songs. Yeah. But everybody's been through something.
Yeah, everyone's been through something like that. And, you know, I wanted to do that. But I didn't want to do like you know, I already did a Summer Breeze style song, which is similar, like, what's the one, like, subject matter wise.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get out of my comfort zone too, because there was another thing. I think that was always a big step in, you know, what's I'm looking for, like, moving forward as an artist, essentially, is being able to get out of your comfort zone. And we talked about that earlier. And so I was like, you know what? I think it'd be really cool if I even like did a little singing on it. And so what I did was I kind of sent it over to her, and I was like, because I didn't really know what to write about. I knew I wanted something that had to do with relationships, but I didn't have a thing. I didn't have I didn't have any bars in mind at all. And so I sent her, I was like, hey, do your thing on this. I'm curious, you know, do whatever you want. Let's, you know, I'll wait for it. And she sent me over like 4 different versions of it. So this is the version we picked, but there was like 4 or 5 different versions of this track in terms of what she did on it. And I actually ended up taking a little bit of each thing from each version, and that's kind of what the track is now. And I heard it, and I was like, I knew exactly what I wanted to write. Yeah. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I knew exactly the emotions I wanted to tap into. And yeah, and now it's out, and it's one of my favorite tracks I've worked on. You know, that was mixed by Shayla Hamady, mixed and mastered by her, which actually she did my first single off this new project called Bad Habits.
Yeah.
And that was another one produced by Curating, and it's a new disco vibe, you know, and it's not something that I ever thought of myself as doing. And like you said, you know, with Grand Rapids, there's so many different sounds. I wanted to be able to, you know, attribute to that too, and being like, I'm not just strictly boom bap. I'm not just strictly drumless. I'm not just strictly this or that or whatever. I can do it all, and I like to do it all, and I like the versatility of it. And I think that's what just makes the creative process in general just more fun. Yeah, more fun, and it opens you up to being able to collaborate with more artists. Like, I you know, there's some artists out there that I don't think would even think about collaborating with someone like Val.
Talked about not a lot of people collaborating with Val. Another cut, guys. Sorry, you guys hate the jump cuts, but just whatever. It happens. I wanted to ask you about, we're heading into the 2025 summer.
Yeah.
25 summers. It ties in. It ties in.
Yeah, you're early on that title.
What can fans expect from you this coming summer and throughout the rest of 2025?
You know, it's actually kind of interesting. So basically, I got this new project I got coming up called, I'll talk about them all. I'm not too secretive with shit.
Hey.
Yes.
Don't be gatekeeping. Ski.
Yeah, I don't.
Sonny Ski has given us the most exclusives. Every time I see him, he tells me about a project that he's dropping.
Yeah.
Every time. Okay, go ahead.
So I got my first project, ideally comes out, I want to say second or third week of May, called Past Lives. You know, that my first 2 singles off that were Bad Habit with Shayla. Then I got Running with Valerie. I got another track with her, and then I got 4 more tracks on there, and 2 of them are featuring this artist named Tamarack. You know, introducing, I should say. It's going to be their first project.
Awesome.
And so I got them on there, and you know, this is going to be a project. It's probably 9 songs, I think, maybe 8, and it's based off of a movie title named Past Lives. Like I said earlier, I love movies. And what kind of I try to tap into on it is something that, when let's say there was this party you didn't go to, or this person you decided to not date, or this person you broke up with, or this journey you decided to not go on or did go on.
So is it like how would making this decision or that decision affect
and
life?
because
That's awesome, dude.
Because when you think about it, it almost is a past life because it's something that happened.
What if you would have done this instead of that? Yeah.
What if was the other title I was thinking of, but I think past lives works a little bit better.
Yeah,
and so I wanted something to do with that. So that's coming out. Like I said, in May. And then me and Nesta, so dope. Such a dope artist.
Shout out my boy JQ. Shout out Nesta.
He's got, bro.
Ricky Blanco, whatever he calls himself now. I know he's got a bunch of names. I know he's got a bunch of names.
Yo, that's so no, yeah. I got shit with him coming out. Him and I working on like a 6-track EP because that's our song Mama's Eyes. I love that song. He loves that song, and I think both him and I realized, I was talking to him, we just have very similar styles that mesh really well together. Mm-hmm. And so we got like 5 or 6 tracks in the vault that we're just going to put out, maybe even more than that. But, I'm really excited to work with him.
Full joint project.
Exactly.
Biggest thing with him that I think that he just needs to do more of, content, man. He shoots great videos. The music's great. If he would just put out a bit more content, I mean, he does good on the content front, but I understand everybody's got job lives. I don't put out as much content as I should. I have no room to judge anyone. For feedback purposes, I love Nesta. But I feel like he just put out maybe 1 or 2 more videos about the songs, man. He would blow. He would blow the fuck up.
Nesta got one of the most interesting.
It's so unique.
It's so dope, and that's why when I heard him, I was like, "This is so dope." So I'm super stoked to kind of be able to work with him on something because after. Just like I said, that track, I'm like, dude, we jive together. We need more shit. Like, it's so dope. I love it. And then after that project, because we're going for a summer vibe on there.
Yeah, man.
Something that you can just jam out to at the beach. Something you can just smoke to by a fire. Something you can just drive down on the whip hot box to. Anything, really. So it's going with that. And then my third and final project of the year, I'm calling the Send Off. So basically, ideally, I plan to move out of Grand Rapids within the next year or so. Mm-hmm. And, so I wanted to kind of have almost a goodbye project just from the scene that during the time I was here and everything.
Where are you planning on heading?
Not sure yet. I have a couple places in mind. Arizona's been one. North Carolina's been one, surprisingly. And then Boston, shit like that.
Boston is racist.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to fuck up your whole moving plan. I just, that from what I hear.
No, I still got to visit there. But
there you go.
There's like other ones there that are like San Diego and Denver that if everything works out, those would be the place.
Denver's a nice little spot.
Denver's dope. That would be dope. But basically, it's the project called The Send Off. And I got this producer been tapped in with the whole time I've been doing this, named D-Peace. He's done so many of my tracks, and he'll just send me great things. And he sent me this package that had like 15 different super dusty, old school style, just boom bap type shit. And I'm like, this is it. So what I want to do is I'm trying to get as many local rappers, spitters as I can on this project. So far, to kind of give you an idea of who I got on here, I got Adrian Wright.
He is also I have an interview that I am editing with him right this moment.
Yeah,
it's fucking cool.
I got Adrian Wright coming on track. He sent me his verse the other day. Holy shit, that's just so dope. I got that. I got him. I got Sonny Ski again. I'm getting him. I got Nesta on it, obviously. I'm getting Teeland out.
But if you need more help I know you said you're just meeting people as you go. If you need more help finding people, I interview people
I appreciate it
all the fucking time.
Yeah.
If you have somebody specific, like if you want to get Ajax on the track, hit me.
I appreciate it.
I talk to bro all the time. And
I would love that. Would be probably my one bit. I'd love to get Ajax on a feature for that. And so that's kind of what I got coming. It's what I got, coming down the pipeline
for the next 6 to 9 to 12 months.
Yeah.
We have reached the conclusion. Thank y'all for tuning in to Rap Roots Media Interviews today. T.Smozz has been a great guest. Tell everyone where they can find you, social medias, music platforms, all that stuff. You can look right down the barrel.
Got you.
Everybody.
IG is T.Smozz, keeping it simple. And that's pretty much everything, on every streaming service you can think of. except I don't know if I'm on Deezer, but I don't know.
Deezer, bro. Who the fuck is on
Well,
Deezer?
use DistroKid. It has
Using Deezer
options out there.
It does. Every
So,
fucking
it's something I never heard of.
every distribution service is on there, and you're like, what
Yeah,
the fuck is
everything.
What the fuck is Deezer?
Right, exactly.
What the fuck is Dirty Dick Music? Okay, sure.
Exactly. So, and, you know, T.Smozz, all of that, and yeah, just, you know, keep vibing, bro. That's it.
Good shit. Rap Roots Media, thank y'all for tuning in. Roots Crew, thank y'all for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, share, do whatever the fuck you do with these videos. I don't fucking know. Follow us on social media, Rap Roots Media on all platforms. Check out the website. We got shirts on the website, hats on the website, everything on the fucking website.
Oh, yeah.
Social media platforms, and we're going to be streaming soon. I'm letting y'all know all the shit right now. Okay. I've been talking too long. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that great shit. Deuces, y'all.